long sprints that can be a physical toll on your body. So I think it has to do more with the fact that they weren't just quite ready to throw Herman back in there. I do think we'll probably see him come off the bench a little bit just as he gets that fitness back. A lot of travel with Sweden, as they call it.
Meanwhile, there is no question about who starts up top of the Dallas right now. It is the Burman Farrington, Petter Musa, and Logan Farrington. And obviously, they're the literal highest scoring duo in MLS. We've already seen them do that. They've got 11 goals, and that's closest to 9. And I'm not questioning their quality in any way, but I'm curious, what do you think of they're doing this year specifically to achieve such a strong performance early in the season?
I think it has mostly to do with Logan Farrington just upping his game. We know what Petter Musa is basically ever since he arrived here in Dallas. He's been putting in goals at half one per game roughly, and he's just been in the league for it ever since he arrived. But Logan Farrington coming through the Super Draft, it took him a little bit of time to get to speed with MLS, as it does for nearly every college soccer player coming up to the big leagues, and he just improved year on year. And we actually saw it in preseason. We thought, maybe this is the breakout for Logan Farrington because he was playing so well, especially over in Portugal during the club's preseason trip. So I think he's just getting closer to that Petter Musa level. And of course, they have that kind of telepathic connection. They're good friends off the field, and I think that helps them just know what the other one is going to do before he does it. They know the kind of runs they both want to make, and they're both very unselfish with each other because of that friendship. So they play really well off of each other, and they're always looking to provide and score goals. And so far, it's really working out and really helping this team score goals.
And another thing that Eric Will has a little bit of a fun problem to solve is who to play at 10. He's going to play 1 or 2 and who to do it. He's got Joaquin Valiente, Patrickson, and now Santi Moreno. Patrickson gets the start this week after a really strong Colts Tennessee season, including a hanger of the season, a count opener with that free kick, the first free kick goal for Dallas this year. And obviously, he's going with Patrick tonight. What do you think that tells you about what Eric Will and the club wants?
I think he's expecting it to be a physical game. Patrickson is definitely the most physical and robust midfielder of those three we just mentioned. Valiente is more of kind of like behind-the-scenes creator, kind of gets on the ball and knits things together. Probably won't be the guy to take the ball and beat 3 people and hit a long ranger like Patrickson can sometimes do. And then, of course, Santi Moreno just coming in, not 90 minutes fit, but he's more of the natural winger who's going to get on the ball and dribble people and look to facilitate in that way. Whereas Patrickson is kind of a moments player. We'll get on the ball, we'll look to distribute, and also he's probably the best free kick taker as we saw last week, but also the best corner kick taker. So a lot of different variety in those number 10s, but I think in this game especially, we've seen St. Louis be really physical. They've got some large bodies in there. I think Patrickson matches up well, so hopefully that's the thought process for him.
Meanwhile, on the other end of the field, you've got Nolan Norris from South here, and especially the other starting. Of course, they and Michael Cody from pitch a shutout, get a clean sheet for the goalkeeper. And I know a lot of the discussion going into the season was, hey, what is Dallas' best back three? We thought at one point it might have been Saze Nolan and Shaq Moore. But maybe the answer is maybe there is no best back three. Maybe Dallas has the best back four.
I mean, that's ideal, right? You want to have options. It's going to be really rare that you have 3 to 4 center backs who stay perfectly healthy all season long. This time it's Herman Johansson missing out and Arnautovic missing out, so they shift over Shaq Moore. But I think that's the reason that Sebastian Ibeagha is loved by every coach who's been at FC Dallas during his time here, is that he's always available and you know what you're going to get. He's a great communicator, a really good organizer. He's been there and done it and seen it all, so he adds a lot of stability to that back line. And then Nolan Norris kind of on the other side of that spectrum, where up-and-coming guy, young, very inexperienced, but he's got a ton of quality on the ball, so he just adds a little bit of a different dynamic in terms of his distribution out of the back. And then, of course, Saze Gurigide does absolutely everything well. He's the rock back there. He's really the one that, if the team weren't missing him, you would be a little bit worried about that back line. But thankfully, he's in there tonight, and I'm sure he's going to lead another strong defensive performance as he does.
And even Dallas dodged danger when Saze wasn't here somehow, so a real testament to how those guys are getting along right now. Well, let's look at the opposing side, St. Louis City, and they've had just a lot of turnover over the last 12 months or so. Corey Ray's the new sporting director. Yohan Dame is the new head coach. They sent Jao Klaus to the Galaxy for some money. Obviously, Edward Lubin had a situation with his now late wife, which is just terrible to see. And hopefully he and his family are recovering from that. It's just been a really struggle season, both on and off the pitch for St. Louis. We've only got one win, but that was against the Revolution, who at this point, Marko Mitrovic's squad may not be what they're looking for. They're kind of in the middle of a big storm right now, are St. Louis. This doesn't feel like the best matchup for them to get out of it.
Perhaps not. I think they're definitely still trying to figure out who they are with all that change up top, as you mentioned. And, of course, coming off of a really rough season last last year. So they're still trying to figure out who they are and what they want to be. Kind of reminds me of FC Dallas from a year ago under Eric Melvin. The team was really trying to figure out what they wanted to be, what formation worked, what profiles fit where and whatnot. But at the same time, they kind of remind me of FC Dallas this season early on, where the schedule was just so difficult, where you could play well, put in a good performance, and still not get the 3 points just because the team you're playing was a contender for the supporter shield, and sometimes it's just really hard to get wins against those teams. So Dallas certainly should not be looking past the St. Louis team. They can hurt you. They definitely have something to prove, as all those players in there are willing to stake their claim under a new head coach.
Well, obviously, we will see what happens. It's going to be a very busy game. That is Garrett Meltzer. You can find him on social media at Garrett Meltzer on all the various platforms. His work's on FCDallas.com, and he'll be with us at halftime to break down whatever happens in the first 25 this week. Garrett, thank you for stopping by. We'll see you in a little while.
Thanks for having us.
When we return here on the FC Dallas pregame show, we'll have the sounds of tonight's match. This is FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota.
Hey fans, it's our favorite time of the match. It's time for the money grab. That's right. Get out those phones, scan the QR code on the big screen, and see if you've got what it takes to make it on the money grab.
2026 Toyota Tundra. Lives in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places. Future availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible. Together.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino at FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
How do you get all these shows? Go to your podcast provider of choice, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Type in FC Dallas Radio Network and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our good podcasts. Now let's get you to the sounds of tonight's match. This evening, they're from their welcome to their factory.
show them what they did. I mean, we reflect on every game, and you know, you get to see your positives and your negatives, and there were a lot of positives in that game that, you know, obviously hitting the back of the net 4 times is going to, that itself is going to give confidence to the group. You know, holding the shutout as well. So on both sides of the ball, we went there committed, and you know, you really get a belief about yourself. So it's keep your feet on the ground. You know, it's one game, and there's a lot to go, and you know, set out the season to be 6th place. So we need to take the positives and from DC and take it as far as we can with some additions of things that normalize our crowd. They give us energy, and all of what we're bringing already, and the confidence that we have in front of our crowd makes us really powerful. But you know, again, we want to stay aggressive for the field. We plan for the opponent, but it doesn't take away from our ability to be on night. So I really like the gains we're making each week, and I just want to keep gaining.
Yeah, it was a big win for us. We know that playing on the road at MLS is always difficult, but I think we did a lot of things well. A lot of stuff that we can still work on. We want to keep our feet on the ground, and look forward to the game on Saturday. Yeah, we have the utmost respect for every team. We know that every team presents challenges, and we want to prepare well, train well, and look to get 3 points at home. We know if we win this weekend, it's a big push heading towards the break and kind of the table.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
I agree. Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
With the 2026 Toyota Tacoma all-terrain capability and advanced tech, you can do whatever you want.
Whatever we want?
Yeah,
whatever we want! Like waking up in a tent with 0 cell service on purpose.
Or driving down a rocky trail that was never actually a road.
Or going out and doing donuts before we've had breakfast.
Or catching sunrise by the lake.
Maybe even a fish if we're lucky. The 2026 Toyota Tacoma for every kind of adventure. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trip. See Toyota.com for details.
Welcome back to the FCL's Pregame Show presented by Toyota here on the FCL Radio Network. We got just about 20 minutes to kick off here at Toyota Stadium, so we're going to get you tonight's starting lineups. Those are brought to you by Anthem. We'll start first with visiting St. Louis SC. They first year in today. They roll with Berkey, the captain of Frisco in net for St. Louis. Dante Polvara, Javier Rosco on the back of the Los Angeles Stadium. That'll be Chris Durkin, Conrad Ballin in midfield, Marcel Harlow in St. Louis, Sergio Corrado, we also like in Simon Becker up top. FC Dallas, your manager.
Michael Colodi, goalkeeper, Frisco, Texas. Sebastian Ibiaga, center back, Duke University. Center back, Netherlands.
Nolan Norris, midfielder, Fort Texas. Shaq Moore, right back, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Ramiro Benetti, midfielder, Brazil.
Christian Capes, midfielder, Houston, Texas.
Daniel Lucius, winger, from Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Patrick Son, mediocampista, Ecuador. Logan Farrington, striker, Racine, Wisconsin.
Veterans, forward,
And the subs that Dallas, Jonathan Sherwa, Wallace Abubakar, Rodney Green, Saki Morena, Herman Johnson, Nick Simmons, Joaquin Miller, Jake Samson, now let's bring in the commentary to the tonight's matchup. It's Steve Davis, it's Nick Harris, Nick back to the FC Dallas Nick Radio Network. You had a very explosive timeout. We played against San Diego. But since then, Dallas has picked up a couple wins. They're really starting to gel. But there's the other side of that coin. Dallas can't really afford to become overconfident tonight against a team with ball domination quality. They could get caught if they're a little bit too just capricious.
Yeah, I would say I hope we have as much fun as we had against San Diego, but that would probably mean more of a disappointing result because I feel like FC Dallas is by far the better team in this pitch here tonight, but nevertheless, it should be a fun game.
And obviously the big change Steve tonight. No Bernard Kamungo, he's got a muscle injury suffered in training. We don't really know what his prognosis is, but that means Dietzen comes in. And a little bit of a shift as we watch the players warm up. If this is indicative of what we'll see, I guess we won't know until the whistle. But it's going to be Dietzen on the right and Shaq Moore on the left. And that's not quite what we expected, at least for the Blues.
Yeah, it's not quite what we expected because Shaq Moore came in as a right back or a right-sided wing back. But, hey, what have we seen now? Shaq can play all across the back line. He's played left center back. He's played right center back. So why not a little left wing back? I suspect he'll be okay over there, although what he'll want to do is cut in, obviously, as opposed to one of the things he likes to do is drive baseline and then get the service in. He won't be able to do that quite as well off his left foot, but let's see how it works out because obviously Eric Quill knows more than we do.
Oh, he definitely does. And one of the things that it says about the fact that Romeo Hansen is going to be on the pitch for this matchup is that FC Dallas has a lot of really good depth options, even at left wing back we thought was maybe the one Achilles heel. No, they can just go ahead and bring in Dietzen and they can shift around. It looks like it's going to be just fine.
Yeah, seeing in training yesterday, the confidence of Patterson, Delgado to be able to step in and have a big role here tonight. You assume to see Johansson at some point, but if he can carry you for the first 65, 70 minutes, then that can certainly allow Johansson to be able to get his fitness back right in time to hit this stretch here before the World Cup break.
I'll tell you something we should mention. Bernard Kamungo's injury, unfortunate as it is, this does give Dietzen a chance to show this club what he can do. I know that the front office has a lot of belief in the Haitian outside the winger, the wingback. We think he's going to be on the Haitian World Cup team. So this is a big opportunity. And honestly, when he's committed to matches so far this year, he hasn't really made a big impact. This is his chance right now. He's got to seize this opportunity because we know Dallas is they've got some depth at wingback now. Herman Johansson on the bench. He has been a starter and probably will be again. Ricky Lewis had a good preseason, so there are some depth options there now. This is the chance Dietzen needs to take advantage of.
And another guy, or I should say another pair of guys that could show as much is Petar Musa and Logan Farrington. Steve, we saw each of them score last week. Obviously, Logan had a brace in the Texas Derby. I mean, those guys are just on another level right now. They're the leading goal-scoring duo in MLS with 11, which, I think we all thought a lot of them coming into the season, and especially Petar Musa. But I think even, as Garrett said in our first segment, the Logan breakout is something that's really starting to become something special.
Let me tell you something about special and those two. If you look at the stats for St. Louis and FC Dallas, shots on target, they're almost exactly the same, right? Between these two clubs. What St. Louis doesn't have is a Logan Farrington and a Petar Musa because Dallas, obviously, they're doing a lot better in goal scoring right now. 14 goals scored against just 5 for St. Louis so far. That's what a hot striker or a hot pair of strikers will do for you. So those two right now, they're absolutely having the time of their life, and hope to see more of it tonight.
It's always good when you can look at one guy and say he has more goals than the entire opposing team here tonight, and that's certainly the case for Petar Musa. I assume he'd be able to add to that tally tonight.
I would certainly hope so. Earlier in this week, Quill even thought that Logan might have a chance to break into the U.S. national team conversation at striker. I don't know necessarily if I believe that, Nick, mainly not because of anything Logan's doing or not doing, just because there's some really strong depth ahead of him in that regard, but that his manager feels so confident in him, that's got to help Logan when he's out there on the pitch.
Yeah, when those two guys and the chemistry really develops as the season goes along, it really feels like they are so comfortable with each other. I mean, the telepathic communication that these two guys have, it's really going to be able to help whenever they are attacking throughout the year. We've seen it so far already, and the way that this team has attacked, you'd credit those two and their push that they've been able to generate.
You know what really helps Logan is 4 goals. He's got 4 goals this year, and that's one off of last year's season total. Strikers live to score. He's scoring goals right now. He's confident. And by the way, he's not just scoring goals. His last 2 have been absolutely sensational. The pull down, the prep touch, moving around the goalkeeper last week or firing it past the goalkeeper the week before. Just absolutely unbelievable quality on the goal. So that's what's really helping him. As far as getting him to the national team, the timing isn't good for him to get into the World Cup squad because Mauricio Pochettino has pretty much sort of settled on the team, and he doesn't want to start bringing a bunch of different players in. But, there's going to be games after that too. So if he keeps scoring, he will get into the national team conversation.
It wouldn't surprise me maybe if next January in one of those kind of look-see camps that Logan get the call, kind of not unlike Coach Tafari and Bertie Kamungo.
Brian, or Brian White, for Vancouver, how he's sort of popped in and out of there.
Well, another guy that's looking to make his name, although I'm not sure he'll be doing it for any national teams anytime soon, is Santi Moreno. He made his debut for Dallas last week in the blowout and, had some flashy moments in there, Steve, including that almost Jedi Force-like pass where he set up Ron Benjamin for that shot that Benjamin would then blaze over the goal. Quill thinks he can give him maybe about a half hour tonight if they need it. And I know it's a short sample size, 10 minutes or so of game time. But you could see instantly what Dallas really liked with Moreno and what he could bring.
You could see it before in Portland, and that's why Fluminense comes in and makes a big offer for him, and he takes off and goes to Brazil. And there's 14 different reasons why things maybe won't go exactly your way. Maybe somebody else plays your position. Maybe you just don't feel comfortable with the coach or the team or the environment or whatever. Or your wife or your girlfriend is back here. Maybe both of them are back here. I don't know. It's an old joke, boys. So now he comes back in here, and immediately you see the quality. That's why Flu wanted him down to Brazil. That's why Portland loved him before. They still have a good relationship. He left there. They still have a good relationship, but he's still young. You saw what he could do on the ball. You saw that, he's got the one little slip pass you just talked about where he doesn't even look back there. He just knows exactly where the player is, puts the perfect weight on it. He was unlucky not to get a goal last week, so I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of him tonight.
I hope we can see some burn. I would love to see about a half hour. That would be a lot of fun here tonight.
I would really like it, especially if Dallas is maybe up 3-0, and so they can just let Santi run wild out there for his debuts. And obviously it's kind of ironic that he'll make his home debut tonight when on the Apple broadcast, the Catalana, this is none other than Gio Savarese, his coach from Portland, who has spoken very glowingly about Moreno in the past as well. Well, if Dallas is going to get that done, that 3-0 done, they're going to have a strong defense tonight, Nick. And, obviously they shut out D.C., and that's not saying a whole lot because D.C. is offensively challenged, especially once Ty Baribo left with injury. But when it comes to the defense tonight against a St. Louis club that hasn't scored a lot and is still trying to find their feet, who do you think is going to be the most important defensive piece for Dallas tonight?
Yeah, I want to see the consistency from Nolan Norris even more. I think with the elevation of responsibilities that he took on a couple of games ago against San Diego and continuously getting the minutes as time has gone along, he's earned it. I will say that. You want to see that consistency prove out against a guy like Marcel Hartel. They are going to have to continue to attack these attackers and be able to win in the box. And I think against a team like St. Louis City, this provides an opportunity for this FC Dallas back line to be able to succeed tonight, and I think they should be able to. Anything more than a one goal conceded, I think would not be a success in my mind. So, against this type of squad, I think if that back line can hold them to 1 or 0, then it's going to be a great night here at Toyota Stadium.
And I think, Steve, it's going to be a question because obviously Sergio Cordova, the former Real Salt Lake man, who, if I'm not mistaken, has a brace in this building, and it might be his only MLS goals was against Dallas in that fateful game a couple years ago when Dallas gave up a 3-1 deficit to draw that one in a game that I think Ryan Figert still has nightmares about. But he is probably going to be the main central striker. In theory, that's who you draw in someone like Osaze against. But as Nick just mentioned, Marcel Hartel is a really quality player. So it's going to be a challenge all up and down the field tonight to keep track on those two guys. Yeah,
Hartel is the one that I think you have to watch. He's going to play on the left side, so it's going to be more probably Dietzen over there, if that's the way they line up, and Ibiaga that have to deal with him. But basically the way I see St. Louis, the attack right now, they've got Marcel Hartel, who I do like, and not a lot else after that. They're still sort of trying to put things together. I actually think this team has been pretty good. If you look at, you mentioned the lack of goals, but they open up with a credible 1-1 draw against Charlotte. After that, they go to San Diego, they play Seattle, they go to LAFC, and they go to NYC. And they're they haven't gotten the results there, but they're mostly 1-goal games, and they actually got it tied last week at NYC. So I actually think it's a pretty good team. They're just lacking a little bit up front, although Hartel on the left I think is the one to watch.
Yeah, it kind of reflective almost of St. Louis just in general because they came into this year and they tore up the grass and started over basically. New Chief Soccer Officer Corey Ray, who had experience in MLS before. Yolan Dame comes in a little bit late in the coaching cycle. They send off their arguably second star player. Roman Berkey is still here. João Klaus goes to LA Galaxy in a trade. I mean, they pretty much started over on this one, Steve. And, obviously they're showing some quality, as you mentioned, but it's still a team that is grinding their way through this and kind of working their way through the woods.
Yeah, right now they're a system team, and they're going to press a little bit. They're going to try to bait you into a mistake. And when you get in behind them, and by the way, you can get in behind them. You can get between the lines because they're not that well organized right now. But what they do have behind them, you just mentioned Roman Berkey, and I know he's 35 years old now, but if you, that long-time Dortmund #1, if you saw that game against NYC last week, he can still make a game-changing save. He saved him a point or two last week.
Yeah, I'll say with the St. Louis City squad, it's a good place to be if you are in a rebuild. I think for FC Dallas' sake, you're catching them before they really get things figured out, but they've played really quality competition. They've shown that they at least belong with these teams in 90 minutes. So, it's definitely not an opponent to just roll over here tonight, but FC Dallas should be favored.
And Steve brings up Roman Berkey, 8 goals allowed in the 6 starts so far. He's got a 71.4 save percentage. And, obviously we always think, is this the year that age gets to Roman Berkey, Nick? But anyone who remembers him and Martin Paz having a couple duels when Paz was still with FC Dallas, there were some goalie wars that happened in those games, and the Swissman still has something in the tank, at least for right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason he's the captain of this squad. He's the elder statesman in the room, and he's certainly going to prove a tough presence in goal tonight.
Well, you've also, Steve, got something kind of interesting happening off their bench. Last week, Brendan McSorley saves the draw for St. Louis. It's the latest goal in St. Louis history, I found out earlier this week. And that's a guy that kind of had a lot of success through St. Louis City, too, who that program has made the playoffs a couple times in MLS Next Pro. And as they're kind of searching for their identity, they're searching for pieces that work. McSorley is a guy that hasn't gotten the chance to start much yet, but he's one of those, I think, kind of glue pieces that Dame can turn to off the bench, especially if we expect them to be trailing like we do tonight.
Yeah, you look for guys that have quality, but you also look for guys who can make a moment. And that's a big point for them last week. And it gives them a lot of confidence. McSorley's goal, late as it was, gives them a lot of confidence coming into tonight. And by the way, it wasn't just an accident. They really had NYC pinned in at the end of that one. But again, at the other end, it doesn't happen if Roman Berkey doesn't make a couple of stunning saves, to put them in position to get that late equalizer from McSorley.
And it doesn't hurt that while St. Louis may be a little porous in other areas, one of the things they're very good at this year, set-piece defense. They have not allowed a goal from a corner kick or from a free kick so far this year. And FC Dallas coming into last week had not scored off a free kick, but then Patrickson's wonder goal goes in, and that kind of solved that up. But it could be, if Dallas tries to work the set-piece game tonight, they're going to run into a little bit of a challenge from the black and pink. Well, let's go ahead and get you tonight's keys to the game. Those are presented by Toyota, and they're also presented by Steve Davis.
Thank you, Sam. Number 1, the striker staying hot. You got one hot striker, you always have a chance. You have 2 of them, your win probability skyrockets. Peter Musa, Logan Farrington, 8 goals between them, as we mentioned, in the last 3 matches. That's the very definition of red hot, so if they stay hot, they'll get goals, and goals lead to wins. Number 2, fast to goal. I do believe Dallas will force a few mistakes with the high press. I feel like we're going to see a lot of the high press tonight. And when they do gain possession in St. Louis half, they got to go to goal and get there fast. They do themselves no good with dilly-dally, so that just lets St. Louis get set defensively. So be super aggressive and brave in those moments when you turn St. Louis over in their half. And number 3, Santi off the bench. Dallas' newest acquisition, Santi Marino. So sharp, like we just mentioned, limited minutes last week. We know Eric Quill wants to build up fitness. Based on the creativity and the desire to make things happen that we saw last week in the final third, I would expect him to have some real impact as he gets into the match tonight. And those, Sam, are your keys presented by Toyota.
Thank you, Steve Davis. As we've got the players out on the field, Dallas in their DNA kit tonight with the blue and red tops and the blue shorts. Meanwhile, St. Louis in their road kit, yellow with a little bit of blue and pink accent, yellow shorts and yellow socks. Well, before we take a break and get you ready for kickoff, let's throw it to our PA announcer, Chris Bucambuso, for the national anthem.
Something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Tundra is built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make moves. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive your local Toyota dealer. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
The rain has come and gone here in Frisco today for a beautiful night here at Toyota Stadium for some MLS action. Your FC Dallas squad coming up against the St. Louis City SC. Welcome you in, Dick Harris alongside Steve Davis. And Steve, this really good squad, battled 2 in a row, looking for their 3rd win in a row, which will be the first time since late in 2020 that they've done that in league play. I'm just going to get it right off the bat. Steve, does it happen tonight? And if it does, give me a score prediction.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, it needs to happen tonight. Look, this is just important, as important. First of 3 at home. We know the schedule is front-loaded. 7 of the first 9 this year are in Frisco. It is absolutely mission critical that you stack up those points right now. So it needs to happen.
FC Dallas getting ready to start things off. They will be in their red and blue tops and blue shorts. And St. Louis City in their all golds. Golds, yellow, whatever you want to call it. It looks gold from up here, so we'll say gold. Nevertheless, the crowd filling in here tonight. Supporters corner, waving the flags, getting ready to get things going. Is Logan Farrington in the middle.
Eric Will talked about the summer heat coming, but it ain't here tonight, and that means FC Dallas. We're gonna see them press a lot tonight, I think, Nick. Later in the summer, I think tactically they have to draw that back a little bit, but tonight they're going to try to take advantage of a St. Louis team that's still trying to sort of figure themselves out tactically. I think they're going to turn them over a few times on that high press.
Yeah, like we mentioned in the pregame, St. Louis City have certainly shown that they can hang with the tough opponents that they've faced here early in the MLS season, but still very much in their rebuild era, their first year. Head coach Yolanda May.
Dallas coming off, I think, what was the most complete game they played under Eric Will, that 4-0 win last week at DC. So to see if they can keep it going. Will talked about how he thinks the team's got a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence. You can see it in the training, not just training hard, but the little details, passing to the correct foot, the right pressing angles, all those little details that count. But when you're confident, you got a little swagger, it counts a little bit more, it works a little bit better.
We are off and rolling as Farrington sends it all the way back to Colodi. Sends his long pass in. Jack Moore trying to head it to keep it in play. It goes out of play. It'll go over St. Louis City for their first throw-in of the night here on the near side.
I'll tell you real quick, it is Shaq Moore playing as the left side of wingback. That means Dietzon's over on the right side.
Out of play once again. We'll keep it on this near side, going over to St. Louis City. We talked about it a bit in the pregame. Some of their guys to keep an eye on as they push the attack. Marcel Hartle here early in the year already with 2 goals. Simon Betcher with 1 goal and 1 assist. They've only put together 5 goals here so far. Just 6 games, but nevertheless they do have the guys to make some things happen. So here's Betcher going up against Urquide. Urquide able to win it back. Urquide in the middle. Able to find Ramiro. Ramiro getting all the way here to the far side to Nolan Norris. Down to Shaq Moore. Up to Logan Farrington. Farrington, he's been active in the last couple of games. We're going to find the back of the net again here tonight. Back to Kappas. A couple of tall midfielders for St. Louis City. It'll be good to see Christian Kappas' presence in the middle.
Important intervention a minute ago there as Ibiaga missed a challenge in the middle of the field. Sazi had to go over on the right side and cover for him. So Sazi Urquide, he does a lot of covering back there. Got the job done that time.
Rafael Santos cuts off a Colodi deep ball. Remain in the midfield area here with St. Louis City. Timo Baumgartel, Roscoe, and out of play. Be a throw in for St. Louis City right across the midfield stripe. Santos to throw it in.
So Dallas is set up a little bit differently than they do usually defensively. They're going to be 5 in the back, 2 screeners in front of them, and then I'll let you take it.
Beautiful header inside the box to be able to feed, and a beautiful cross. No one was home for St. Louis City. That was danger here in the game's 3rd minute against that FC Dallas back line.
Yeah, they got a little leaky on the left side there. That ball comes all the way through the FC Dallas goal mouth. I think it might have been out. Can't see who that was that played that across.
Looks like it was Hartle.
Yeah, I think it was Marcel Hartle over there.
Dangerous header. Wow, that one to come into play. Set up Hartle perfectly in the box. Lodi lucky to not see a teammate crossing through for Hartle. Averted danger here in the early moments. Now upfield for FC Dallas, given away to the St. Louis City back line. It's Packerson, Delgado who run it down.
Seeing as Hartle provides all the danger over there, I'm a little surprised that we've seen Shaq play on the left side. See how this works out.
Back to Roman Berkey. The 35-year-old Swiss man. He's the captain for this squad. He wears the armband. Trying to find some room along that far side. Able to get it into the midfield. Now up to Daniel Edelman. Edelman with a little bit of a run here in front of him. Moving off near side to Conrad Valen. Valen. Back into the midfield. Working back to Orozco. Edelman here on the near side. St. Louis City looking for an opportunity to strike inside the box. There's a bit more upfield and crosses it back through. And it's out of play. It'll be a throw for FC Dallas. Good job by that midfield and back line.
Yeah, 5th minute here. Good start for St. Louis. I don't think Eric Will's going to be thrilled with the way his team has started here. Sort of already giving up a half a chance right in front of the goal and really sort of losing the possession battle right now as well, Nick.
Jack Moore just trying to keep it in play. Gives it right back to St. Louis City. Certainly so. Visitors coming in have controlled possession here so far. Trying to push into the attacking third. Here's Wallem trying to cross it in. It's deflected by Norris out of play. Throw in here on the near side. Wallem gets it in quick. Norris closing in the corner. Inside the Wallem. And Norris trying to win it back, at least able to poke it through. Still in play on this side for St. Louis City. There's a whistle to go over to FC Dallas.
Yeah, offside down there, near corner.
Whistle to push it back a little further. Spiloti will take it. Deep in the box. Here in the 6th minute. FC Dallas trying
nice breeze, nice cool night. We know what's coming, so it's nice to have a couple more of these before the heat gets here.
You don't want to take these for granted, no doubt. Possession able to get one back by St. Louis City rather quickly. Worked all the way to their back line to Dante Pomara. Beautiful pass on the far side to get it to Ballin. Ballin has a couple of teammates running. Ballin working on Shaq Moore. There's a body down inside the box for St. Louis City. Way high up into the air and now into the box and cleared out by Nolan Norris. Trying to get one back. No whistle. There was some contact there. They'll let it play out. Delgado crossing it inside for Farrington. Farrington working through the midfield. And he hasn't lost. Good challenge there by Chris Durkin.
Kind of gave it up a little too easily. I think he's got his feet tangled up.
Chris Durkin, the Hampton, Virginia native. Maybe trying to get some revenge for his former DC United squad. All the way here to the near side now. Possession back with FC Dallas. Jack Wall. Back to the box. Give it right back to St. Louis City. Here's Edelman. See Edelman with some comfort here in the midfield early on. There's the danger man. He's able to find a touch in the box. Saw it early. All the way back to the back line, all the way back to Roman Berkey. Down here to the near side. Patience here for St. Louis City. Working it upfield with Daniel Edelman. Edelman trying to cross one inside, looking for Simon Becher. Good job by Sebastian Diaga to head through. Michael floating.
Right now, St. Louis is having no problem beating Dallas's press.
Norris to at least give Petamusa a shot there. One back by St. Louis City.
Pomara winning a physical battle there with Musa. I think Musa will have his share of those too.
Whistle, Nolan Norris with a little bit too much of a push. Free kick. St. Louis City, they'll take it quick here. Trying to find Ballin once again. Let him a bit too far. It'll be a throw in deep in the corner on the near side for FC Dallas.
Yeah, they are attacking this defensive left side for Dallas. That's where Shaq is stationed over there. Is the left side of wingback working with Nolan Norris, but clearly St. Louis sees something they like over there because they're trying to go through Vollum on the right side.
Long throw in here. Trying to look for Farrington and Musa to get out and run. A little too much physicality from Musa. It'll be a free kick opportunity for St. Louis City just on their half of the midfield strike. Good crowd here tonight, filing in. The game's 10th minute. Sent through by Hartle into the box. Worked back out. Here's Ballin. Back to Hartle. Hartle works it back into the midfield area. Rafael Santos. Santos is going to send it through and deflected by Musa. Possession back here with St. Louis City. Directing traffic. All the way back to Roman Berkey. St. Louis City showed a lot of willingness here early on to work it all the way back and get a run in. Here's Edelman.
FC Dallas.
Trying to find Cordova. Mix on the edge of the box. They're trying to cross it in. It's deflected out by Nolan Norris in the first quarter of the game for St. Louis City.
So the back line is essentially the same. It's Ibiago, Saze, and Nolan Norris, but I think bringing Shaq over to the left side, Dietzen on the right side. I think taking Kaike out of the lineup, I think it's sort of disrupted Dallas defensively in the midfield. And right now, St. Louis, they're having no trouble breaking the press, having no trouble making entry passes in the final third, and Dallas has to get this sorted out pretty quick.
Left footed corner on the near side. Has some good height on it, easily deflected out. Excuse me, I believe it was Imiaga that got it down. Daniel Edelman back to Frisco midfield line. Frisco and Baumgartel do the quarterback things from deep. Nice touch pass here. Fowler able to get a chance inside and across. Here's Hartle working at the top of the box. Did a good job by Christian Cavas to be able to close and force him back out. Chris Durkin with a pass deep. Sergio Cordova trying to work it inside. It's out of play.
Well, again, it was Valum running through right center channel. Got a pass slipped into him. Just about got there before it went over the end line. Didn't quite make it, but again, they're just finding the entry pass is way too easy right now. Yeah, I think that ball was out as Valum tries to put one toward the runner at the near post. But it's early. We're in the 13th minute, but Dallas has had none of the ball and absolutely zero threat at Roman Berkey's goal.
Heading it up. Opportunity to do so. He kicked all the way through the loading. Rouse it inside to Imiaga.
I think FCD really needs a shape change here. They just have no success right now moving the ball through midfield.
Back and forth through their back line, of course. Arquide and Imiaga. Now Whistle.
It's way off the ball.
Way off the our head official, head ref, Philip Gooch.
Yes.
Talking to Logan Farrington. What did you see there, Steve?
I was watching the ball 40 yards back behind him.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything. But Logan Farrington's not really arguing the call, so.
That'd be a free kick. Either side of the midfield strike. St. Louis City. Unfortunate way to give up possession. Daniel Edelman back to Frisco. Farrington had an opportunity potentially to play that. Shot by Orozco. Clear the threat. Not a play. It'd be a throw in here for St. Louis City on the near side.
can't tell right now what Duwich is calling, whether it's a free kick or a throw-in.
I believe it's a throw-in.
Nope.
Oh, it will be a free kick. All right.
He let the advantage go, and then once the ball went out of play, he's calling it back for the free kick, and it's going to be a dangerous one, coming at about 15 yards off the end line, but well along St. Louis's right side. And all that started, I have to say, when Shackmore and Ramiro just sort of collided, they ran into one another, and the ball squirted back loose behind them. Dallas, just as sharp as they were last week, they just haven't looked at tonight.
Marcel Martin take it. Patrickson, Delgado, and Dietzen serve as a two-man wall right in front of the ball, just inside the box. Major set piece here for St. Louis City in the 17th minute. Santos to take it low. Colodi able to save it. It came in right on goal. And Colodi was able to grab it last minute. Or excuse me, deflected out of play and be able to put it on the far side.
Yeah, that left footer swung in, and that's a really dangerous one. I always love that kind of service on a free kick from that spot, because it's one where the goalie has to hold his position in the middle of the goal to see if there's going to be a touch in there directed toward goal. But then at the last minute, if it comes through, it's going to go sneak into that back post, and Colodi with a big, quick right hand to push it aside at the last minute.
Instinctive save there.
Right now there are 16 men inside that 6-yard box for St. Louis and Dallas. Everybody packed in near Marco Colodi.
Some good height on it. It was sent all the way through, no contact. Out of play for a goal kick for
Colodi. 18th minute, FC Dallas still looking for any kind of attacking threat right now. He had Dietzen all alone on the right side. Instead, he tried to jam it right through about 6 yellow shirts in the middle.
Now is able to hold possession. It feels like it tonight. It certainly has been a while. Bernier down to Norris. Norris sent it far for Shackmore. Shackmore trying to run it down, and was sent just a bit too far to be a goal kick. Roman Berkey of St. Louis City.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good ball. I think Shackmore expected the ball to check up a little bit, so he didn't really get out of second gear until it was too late. Then it was just watching the ball go over the end line for a goal kick.
Judging from the corner flags, it looks like the wind is pushing that way just a bit, so maybe the wind caught it just a little bit. Berkey sends it all the way near the midfield line. Whistle.
Yeah, Shackmore, little head contact there. The St. Louis player is still on the ground, so that's going to be an automatic stop for the referee once he knows there's been contact on either side with the head.
Petarusa helps up the opposing player. Looks like everyone's all right. Be a free kick shot for St. Louis City. That was.
It's going to be a drop ball, and I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Nick.
You're good.
It's going to be a drop ball. I think both sides are lobbying Duwich to say it should have been our ball, because they know it's going to be a free drop ball. So it's going to be Dallas in possession.
Right in front of Ramiro. And Uragide. A little bit of a press here from St. Louis City.
2-on-1 against Nolan Norris, and he did a good job of sort of delaying the play long enough. But I tell you what, right now St. Louis is easily getting through Dallas' press, or they're going over it. If they go over it, you got to win your duels, and Osasie Orguide didn't win his duel out there. That sent St. Louis off and running, giving him the corner kick.
And Colodi was able to get a hand on that one. Another corner for St. Louis City. Continuing to close in here tonight. This one sits in low. St. Louis able to win it in the middle. Opportunity for a counterattack maybe for SC Dallas. They're able to get out in front. Petter Musa. Heavy contact there in the midfield. Looked like Simon Betcher collided bodies with him. Early there for SC Dallas. It's handled by Farrington. Gets it right back to St. Louis City.
And Dallas just hasn't been sharp with the ball at all tonight.
Approaching the halfway point of the first half. Into the 23rd minute. St. Louis City has dominated possession here.
Not good. 3-0 shot so far, visitors.
Taking his time, sitting in front of the midfield. See now is able to win the midfield. Romero, first help on the far side. He gives it back. Rafael Santos. Now here's another opportunity potentially for Martin to get out and run. FC Dallas able to get that back line back through. Here's Dietzen with an opportunity to play some defense here in the box. Does a good enough job. Forcing Aaron Hickman to go over to FC Dallas.
So we'll have Sam Hale put a pin in this one for the halftime talk. But right now, it's not like this is a big secret. But when St. Louis presses, they press man for man, and you know you just got to be clean on the ball. You can beat a man for man press, but you know you've got to have a little bit more movement. You got to be a little sharper on the ball. And right now, Dallas just isn't. Delgado has got to get himself a little bit more involved in possession. I feel like at some point we're going to see a Valiente switch there because Dallas just can't get on the ball. Delgado's more of a chaos creator and duel winner, whereas Valiente would help give them possession.
FC Dallas is looking for a handball there, did not get it. Be a throw in around where that handball was committed for FC Dallas. Excuse me. Dietzen to throw in. Caught right back to Dietzen. Morris to keep it in play.
Dietzen and Shaq Moore have switched sides for now.
Opportunity to get out and run. Patterson Delgado. Pushing it over to the far side to Shaq Moore. Shaq Moore trying to keep it in play. An opportunity for Logan Farrington. It did go out of play before Shaq Moore could put contact on it.
I mean, Dallas just, I'm puzzled by some of the decisions right now. They had some room to run, and instead of playing Shaq Moore immediately down the right side, Delgado just waited too long, and by the time he finally made the pass into Shaq Moore, it was too late, and the ball ran over the end line.
A disjointed first half for FC Dallas. Still scoreless here, entering the 26th minute. Right there is Dietzen. Able to win it back. Norris sends it all the way back through.
Actually, Norris with his clearance was a really good curling ball at the left side, but Peter Musa was a little slow to get back, and he knew he was outside, so he just had to watch it go by him. Norris in a couple of good battles with Cordova. Just won another one.
Doing a good job at least keeping things tame here on this near side. Hartel trying to work at the top of the box. He has a one back by FC Dallas. Get out and run. One back by St. Louis City.
Yeah, Farrington again. He's just not making a decision on the ball and he's taking off his foot.
Another opportunity to
called it a while ago. I think that's a pretty good ball intended down in that right corner from Colodi. It's a big ball out, but it just, I think he catches a wind and just sort of gets away from Logan Farrington.
Conditions continue, maybe something that would work more in their favor in the second half, but for now.
Well, they always like attacking that supporter end anyway in the second half. Fourth corner already for St. Louis, none for Dallas. No shots, no corners, not much happening. I mean, you know, if we're talking about the first 10 minutes, that's one thing, but coming up on a half hour. Yeah, you know, look, the good news for Dallas is they have a really strong bench tonight. I mean, yeah, Santi Moreno could come in. I think Herman Johansson could add some stability to it. You want a chaos creator, Sam Sarver could come in. Kaike could come in and help him win a few more balls in the midfield as they just lose another one in there. So he does have options at least tonight. Valiente, didn't even mention him. He's another good option. Had to mention Orozco a lot because we haven't had to mention any of this St. Louis defenders a lot. Nolan Norris loses the ball in midfield.
Pop right back up and sending over to Logan Farrington. Farrington with left foot in. A good job being deflected by St. Louis City. Still in play. Possessed by St. Louis City. Back to the midfield area. Now an opportunity here for Conrad Powell. Inside, trying to get all the way back to Diago. He does just enough to poke it through to Logan.
They just opened Dallas up like a can opener there.
Teammates, nice work on ball. All the way to the far side, Shackle. Possession, Kappas. Middle. Near side to Dietzen. Hero. FC Dallas just trying to get it into the box. It's been a tough battle here tonight.
I mean, at least they're in the attacking third now.
One step at a time. Kappas. Attack. Ramiro is probably going to get booked right here. As he came in. The dangerous slide. Now Ramiro will need some medical attention. Our head official, Philip Duwich, immediately signaled for him. One player for each side down. It's Ramiro for FC Dallas.
Kappas with a tough tackle, and then Ramiro coming in on a. I think as he's coming in, I think he might slip a little bit. But you're right. It looks like he might have gotten just as bad. He's going to get a yellow card if he hasn't been shown it already.
It's actually going to be a yellow card against St. Louis City.
Huh.
It's against Sergio Cordova. Cordova pointed like that was against me. I certainly thought it could have been against Ramiro.
I sort of did too. Let's see it again.
Bringing out the stretcher here for Ramiro.
Well,
they at least have it here on the sideline.
I think Duwich just gets this one wrong. I can't possibly see what Cordova did there. I think Duas just got that wrong. Cordova is literally just standing there, and Ramiro comes in. It's a tough tackle. Yeah, unless I don't know. Are you seeing anything there that I'm missing?
I am not. Looks like there is some blood on the back of the calf of Ramiro, and that's where the medical attention is mostly coming from here. We must have taken a cleat from Cordova on the way down.
Yeah, as Cordova sort of fell over him. It's like see Kaike warming up.
Interesting moment here, just across the half-hour mark. We get some stoppage time back in the end of the first half. Ramiro looks like he's going to be carried off to the side. Captain for this FC Dallas squad takes a hard tumble.
Well, sort of a reset here. We're in the 34th minute. There will be significant injury time added on here. We'd say probably 3, 4, 5 minutes. But right now, FC Dallas, I mean, you're talking about playing a game at home against one of the teams at the bottom of the West standings, and they have no shots. Roman Berkey, I don't even think he's had to come out and catch a cross. They're easily bypassing FC Dallas's high press. Right now, the best thing that's happened to Dallas is that Philip Duich has gotten the decision wrong and sort of saw something wrong. And right now, Dallas' problems get a little worse because one of the more experienced players, Ramiro, he's going to go off. Kaike is going to come on, and I don't want to see Ramiro hurt, but maybe this does change things a little bit for FC Dallas. They absolutely have to win a few more balls and a few more duels in the midfield, and he will help there.
Kaike comes on for Ramiro. He's brought off. Taking a shot to the back of his calf. Free kick just on the outside of their attacking third from Patrick Delgado.
But, you know, when you're not playing well, sometimes a dead ball, a set piece will get you back in it. So see if Dallas can make something here.
Pre-game, St. Louis City has not conceded a goal to a set piece so far this season. FC Dallas can certainly jolt some momentum just to get a shot on goal here. Here's Delgado with the cross in. And hits that line for St. Louis City. Stay on this in. Go out of play. Should be a throw in for FC Dallas in the game. Delgado to throw in. 36th minute. 10 minutes plus stoppage time, thrown all the way into the box, deep into the box. Headed up by St. Louis City, still in play, right on goal, then cleared out by Baumgartel. That was a good job by Timo Baumgartel to get it out into the danger zone. It's going to stay on this side. Dietzen with a nice cross inside. And they hit a head on it. Was that Shaq Moore?
No, it was Kaike.
It was Kaike.
Oh, my heavens. He's got the ball, drops right to him at the back post, 5 yards out. And instead of just aiming that down at the goal line like they tell you to do, he just hits it high. I mean, he's uncontested. He's moving a little bit, so it's hard to judge, but he's just into the game, so you don't want to be too harsh on him, but big chance there for Dallas.
Wasn't here in the midfield. Of course, a little too much contact. He didn't like the ball.
Not sure I did either.
Case there. Yeah, he may have had a case there. Kaike quickly comes in, has an opportunity, potentially put a shot on goal, sends it high, but
it was a really good cross from Dietzen well along the left side. Dropping her curling ball with his left foot right into the back post.
Good to see from Dietzen. Big opportunity here for him tonight. Bernie Kamungo out of the picture for a while, as it sounds like. In the midfield, Cap is trying to put it back in. Here's Kaike. Trying to send it far. It was picked off.
Tried to get it over the right side of Shaq Moore and just didn't hit it very well, and was intercepted.
Midfield circle has been
just got stretched there. That the front three started pressing, and they didn't have enough cover behind them. So St. Louis once again just easily bypasses that front three press.
Baumgartel. That back line has done a lot of the possessing for St. Louis City. They like to really let things play out from deep. Frisco, Baumgartel, Dante Molara. Working to the midfield. Some contact. They'll let advantage play out. Now an opportunity for Cordova into the box. Trying to find Hartle. And saved by Colodi. Good job of cutting off that cross by Michael Colodi. He's been active in goal tonight. They've needed him. Throw into the near side. Patrick's and Delgado. Two-man game between him and Kappas. Side for a brief moment. Just back in the midfield.
Easy giveaway there by KK. He's got to, I know he's just come in, but he's got to get into the game.
St. Louis City player down in the midfield. There's a whistle. And it's going to be a booking. First one against FC Dallas here tonight at Saze Aragide.
And Duich is indicating it's for something that happened a while back or further up the field. I didn't catch it. Brigida didn't really protest. Nice grab out of traffic a minute ago by Michael Colodi.
Challenge that resulted in the St. Louis City down in the pitch right now was by Christian Kappas. So.
Yeah, it's Durkin. It's down or was down. He's up now.
On that run that led to the Colodi save there in the middle. There was a body that had hit the grass just before that. We're going to have some stoppage time here on the back end for sure. We're into the 40-minute break. We'll have to assume that there's at least 5 minutes being put on the back end. I think that's being generous. Pregame here just across the midfield for St. Louis City. Sent into the middle. Good job to run it down by Aragide. St. Louis City forced to work it back. All the way back to Frisco. And now a FC Dallas player hits the grass, and there will be a whistle. Let's see who fell over there.
Yeah, it's Uragita. Yeah, he got kicked. I'll tell you what, right now, Durkin and Edelman, they're just owning the midfield. Dallas has to find some kind of solution in there.
Two Americans there in the midfield for St. Louis City. Edelman from Warren Township, New Jersey. Durkin from Hampton, Virginia. He sent it all the way. Just hopes that FC Dallas can win possession in their attacking third. Brings back to get the loose ball. Working down to the near side to Dietzen. Delgado, a little bit of a push from behind. It was Hassel and Roscoe. Gave a little too much contact there.
I think Eric Quill's got a lot of work to do at halftime. I think it's tactical and probably personnel-wise, because it's just nothing's working tonight. They're a little fortunate, not to be a goal down. As they give away the ball again.
It was a nice ball in the middle by Kaike to find Petter Musa. Musa couple of defenders around him, and he gave it up. As Berkey sends it through, and FC Dallas trying to keep it in play. It's out of play, and we have throw-in St. Louis City.
St. Louis doing a real good job right now of, number one, controlling midfield, number two, understanding the moments when they can save possession a little bit, just keep possession moving, and understanding the moments when they can go vertical, finding the gaps in behind Dallas or through Dallas' defense.
St. Louis City with a long throw-in, won by FC Dallas. Long cross over to Shaq Moore. It's a beautiful ball over to Moore and then cut off by Dante Povara. Shaq Moore had an opportunity to potentially run at it. Povara, good job of recovering.
I mean, it was a heck of a ball from Peter Musa.
An opportunity on the other side. Here's Simon Betcher for St. Louis City. He was working on Asaze Uragide. Uragide put it out of play via another corner here for St. Louis City. Fifth of the match in this first half.
Again, that's just where St. Louis understands. They've drawn Dallas out. Now you go vertical and get in behind them. You get another opportunity to put it in the box on a corner kick. St. Louis tonight, they're just quicker of thought, quicker of foot.
Marshall will take it to the far side. Right foot coming in. Has nice height on it. Headed through and headed out of play. It'll be yet another corner.
And this will come from the right side. Couldn't tell who got a head on it for Dallas. See it again here. St. Louis one more time to stack everybody inside the six.
Yaga that got the head on it. Here to the near side for Rafael Santos. It will be 5 minutes stoppage time here at the end of the first half. Santos sending it inside and headed out by Christian Kappas. Possession will remain with St. Louis City. Shaq Moore defense. Cross being sent in. Throw in for St. Louis City.
Dallas' press just hasn't been coordinated tonight. That time, Musa and Farrington were running hard, trying to launch the press. And as we've seen a couple of times already, and the midfielders and the two lines behind them just aren't following up.
Deep throw in, headed out by Uragide. Now looking for the counterattack. Farrington trying to run down. Ball that was sent all the way into the box, and Murphy able to just sneak inside the box and corral it. Ball down on the other side. Listen to Peloti.
You know, the issue here, something else we'll talk about at halftime, is that whatever tactical and personnel changes Eric Quill wants to make, and he clearly needs to do something here, it's complicated by the fact that they've already had to make one change. So they've got one less change, one fewer change to deal with.
So whistle for some contact against Chris Durkin.
I think Durkin made a little bit of a meal of that one. Clearly Peter Musa thinks so as well.
Musa's been whistling for a couple of soft contacts here in this first half. Here's Volland. Body hits the grass for St. Louis City, no whistle. Looking for a counterattack opportunity potentially here. Shaq Moore on the far side. There's a lot of bodies back for St. Louis City. Inside to Musa. Now Musa off the post. Deflected back. There was another opportunity. I believe that was Dietzen that got in the middle there.
And I think
it was offside anyway.
I think Musa was offside on that entry ball, but that's a little bit better for Dallas. As Musa at a tough angle beats Roman Berkey to the far post, and that one just crashes off the inside of the post right back in, and Delgado can't put it home. It wouldn't have counted anyway.
Offside or not, at least put a jolt into this crowd at the end of the first half.
Yeah, that's important too. You're right, just give the home crowd a little bit to cheer for.
Good ball sent over to Shaq Moore, and then Moore trying to find Musa. Musa got out a bit to the front. Here's Farrington, 2-on-2 here, up to Musa. Musa's got to run right at the box. Can Musa get free with his left foot? Back to his right, and saved by Berkey. Now to play, it'll be a corner for FC Dallas, their first of the night.
Okay, so back here, there's two players down, one for each team, and Duich, I think, doing the right thing there, playing on, and as Musa has the St. Louis defender there, couldn't pick out which one it was. It's Polvara just spinning like a top. Eventually, he gets it back on his right foot, right at the corner of the goal area. And Roman Berkey, we told you, he was big last week in helping preserve a draw at NYC, and that time he just made sure that his team was going to go in at halftime 0-0.
Looks like it's a rose coat down for St. Louis City. Still working out who is down for FC Dallas. It's been a physical first half. We've seen a lot of bodies hit the grass. So Roscoe is now to his feet. It is Haseo Roscoe. Mexico.
I'm thinking it's Kaike because I don't. No, there he is. So it's not Kaike. That's Patrickson Delgado.
Delgado back to his feet, walking over.
Yeah, he got clobbered by Roscoe.
Both players will come to the sideline here. Roscoe's running it off.
Yeah, Delgado had position, and Orozco just came running in, and I thought he led with his elbow. It's what Eric Will thinks so too, judging by the way he's gesturing. But anyway, it's Dallas has a chance here on their first corner kick of the night.
5 minutes of stoppage time. I'm sure there'll be a couple added minutes. This injury stoppage.
Both teams playing a man light right now.
Christian Cap is sending in his left foot from the far side. It's a low one. And immediately taken over by St. Louis City.
Not a good delivery by Kappas.
Trying to run it down. Shaq Moore gets to it first. Sends it back to Lodi. Lodi working to this near side. Here's Musso on the near side. Deep cross. Trying to get it all the way to the far side. Wasn't able to do so. Cut off by St. Louis City. Possession able to get one back on the back line. Here's Nolan Force in the middle. Down to Dietzen. So Kappas back to Dietzen. Nice one-touch play. Entering the attacking third. A nice cross there from Dietzen, but no one was home. He's maybe looking at Logan Farrington or Shaq Moore. Get out, try to get a poke on that one, but sends all the way back through the back line. Now it's Roman Berkey for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Dietzen probably needed to look up and hold his cross another second. Let somebody else, let one runner get in the box because he had a couple lurking outside the 18, but nobody really making a good, hard, committed run. Wouldn't think that referee Philip Duich is going to let this one go much longer after Roman Berkey's goal kick.
Duich has the whistle in his mouth just yet. Letting it go through. Now entering the 7th minute of stoppage time. There's the whistle right there. And that'll be the end of the first half. It was a disjointed first half for your FC Dallas squad. Fortunate to see it go to the halftime break scoreless at 0-0. A lot to work out for head coach Eric Will. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with halftime thoughts in the second half. You're listening to FC Dallas.
With the 2026 Toyota Tacoma Terrain capable of advanced tech, you can do whatever you want.
Whatever we want.
Yep.
Whatever we want. Like waking up in a tent with zero cell service on purpose.
Or driving
innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wild at the world of WinStar.
After 45 plus here at Toyota Stadium, it's honors even 0-0 as FC Dallas and St. Louis City have yet to score here in this MLS contest. Hello everybody, it is the FC Dallas halftime show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota, Go Places. Also brought to you by Advocare, building champions. I'm your host, Sam Hale, joined just a moment by our regular halftime crew, Eric Meltzer and Steve Davis. But first, let's go ahead and get you your halftime stats. Those are brought to you by UOB Bank. Normally we would go to highlights, but no highlights, unfortunately. Stats-wise, St. Louis City leads possession battle 57-43. Each team has 3 shots, but 2 of those are on target. Just 1 for the home side. 6 corners in that first half for St. Louis, just 1 for FC Dallas. 2 saves so far for Michael Maloney, 1 for Roman Murphy. We've got 7 fouls for St. Louis, 2 for FCD, 2 yellow cards for the visitors, including 1 of the most complex ones of the season, called on Sergio Cordova, and 1 yellow card for FCD. That goes to captains. And now let's go ahead and bring in our halftime crew. It's Aaron Meltzer, it's Steve Davis. Steve, I was marking to Aaron before we came on air. Often in the first half, I'll try to sit and watch and go, okay, what are they trying to do? Are they doing it well? Are they doing it poorly? Honestly, I struggle more than anything just trying to figure out what FC Dallas is trying to do, and they definitely are not doing it well.
Well, Sam, if you're looking to me for answers, you're not going to get many of them because
what are we going to do?
It's puzzling to me too. I think that there's a little bit of disruption in the lineup. A couple of players playing in unfamiliar spots. Look, also credit to St. Louis. They came with a lot of intent. Durkin and Daniel Edelman have been very good in the middle. Dallas's press is clearly not working. They're playing right through the press. And they're controlling the middle. Really, for 30 minutes, Dallas had absolutely nothing. Finally, had a little bit of offensive spark in the last 10 minutes or so. Actually got a corner kick, got an opportunity out of it. Peterbusi got an opportunity, but a lot of things to sort out. Again, complicated by the fact that they've already had to make one change because Ramiro had to come out injured. Kaike came in for him.
Yeah, that's a big shift for Dallas. Here in the 35th minute officially, Kaike comes in for Ramiro. Sergio Cordova involved in a weird collision that somehow ended up in a yellow card for Sergio Cordova. And while this isn't the St. Louis City halftime show, I'm still very perplexed with how that one happened. But that's just a really bad loss to Dallas because Ramiro, as we've noted multiple times across the whole program, is the captain of this squad. He's one of the organizers of the squad. Not having him, regardless of what's going on the pitch, is not a positive for Dallas.
Yeah, it's a real shame. You just hope he's okay. To me, it looked like he actually had some sort of the chief communicator, the chief organizer for that entire midfield. Anytime you'll see him with his coaching, he's filling midfielders through the game, telling him where to move the ball, when to move the ball. So it's a big loss. The ugly thing is that Kaike does bring a lot more legs. He covers a lot more ground, and as Steve said, the press for Dallas was not working. They were getting played very easily, so there's a lot of Ramiro running backwards covering for that. And that's not what you want Ramiro doing. Running backwards is not his strength. That's much more PK strength. So in that respect, Kaike will bring a little bit more to the game, but Dallas is going to lose a lot of leadership, a lot of organization.
Yeah, I do think that one of the things Dallas was missing was a ball winner in the midfield. And, Kappas was doing what he could. That's not really Ramiro's game. And I think Kaike can give him a little bit of that because right now St. Louis is just winning everything in the midfield. I feel like it's a little bit more tactical maybe than just, desire to win balls in the midfield. But I think Kaike can help them. We saw that, seeing that Valiente came out extra early to start warming up, and I think I mentioned at some point in the broadcast that I think they need more possession in there. They need a possession guy, but it's going to take some shifting around now, especially as they've already had to bring Kayake in for Ramiro, but we got several players warming up now, and I think there's a lot of options for Dallas. It is a strong bench, so at least Eric Will has good options.
Valiente as well. Of course, on the ball, he's very clean, very calm on it. But I think he's also the best pressing midfielder, pressing forward in this entire team. And like you said, Dallas's press was not working at all. It was way too easy for St. Louis to build out there. And Valiente, he'll do a lot of things well, but one of them especially is just running and chasing that back line and hurrying the defenders in.
Yeah, and the other thing, Garrett, is that St. Louis, as they press man for man. And you got to be clean on the ball. You can beat that man-for-man press, but you got to be real clean on the ball. And Delgado, maybe that's not his game. And if Valiente were to come in for him, I think that would be more Valiente's game.
I'm curious, obviously, the change lineup-wise was the wing-back situation. Shaq Moore was on the right. So started on the left side. Hugo came in on the right. They ended up flipping midway through there. And Garrett, I just, not a lot of things worked for FC Dallas during that first half, so this is not a singling out criticism of either of those guys. But specifically, I still think we called Dixon's name enough for the skill set that he has.
No, hardly at all, but I think it definitely worked a lot better once they switched back to the natural side with the left-footed Dixon on the left and Shaq Moore on his natural right side. Because prior to that, it seemed like, they were just completely anonymous. And one of the problems, I think, too, is that players aren't trusting them in passing them the ball. I can think of two different occasions. One was Patterson running forward with the ball. He had Shaq Moore making a fantastic run down the right, and he just held on the ball too long, as Patterson did.
I bet I can guess the other one.
It was Logan Farrington.
Yep.
Logan Farrington.
We saw the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. Just play the ball and pass out wide. They've got all the space. They have the momentum. They get one big touch. They're behind the back line. They get across the back into both those players. They held the pass too long, waited in that chance for
I said during the broadcast, I think that's where I said it's just puzzling. I can't, the pass is obvious, the run's being made. Sometimes it's a very simple game, but you have to let it be simple.
Well, I think there's a lot of that kind of thing, just like decisions taking too long and then poor first touches, misplaced passes.
Yep.
Sam kind of said, I didn't really see what they were trying to do, and I don't think there's actually a structural issue. I think this team is playing like it has for the beginning of this season, which is usually playing quite well. It's just that what they're trying to do, their sequences, they're not coming off because they're making a bad pass or missing an obvious pass and making a decision too slowly for the structure and the sequence to really come together.
That's definitely happening. Like, the passing has not been good tonight. And one thing that St. Louis, Steve, has really taken advantage of is that right center channel on their attacking side. Conrad Bala, especially about the first 20 minutes or so, every time he looked up, he was running that channel. He had the ball, and he had it up against Dallas. And then a little bit of Hades right there. That's something that if Dallas is going to want to maintain and even win this game, they're going to have to shut him down or at least deny him the ball.
Yeah, I think you're right. For the first 25 minutes, it was either on that right center channel or just going direct right over and playing him into the corner. I feel like after about 25 minutes and the change that they made, putting Dietzen over there, I think they sort of sorted that out and maybe shifted midfielder over a little bit more to sort of protect that one lane. So that one I think they at least sort of figured out. But there's still plenty to figure out after that.
Most definitely so. As we look towards the second half of the period, obviously we're going to see Pregame come in. It looks like, although we'll wait and see, that Valiente may come in similarly to Patterson. But as you kind of look at how the first half of the Dallas looked for the second half, what else would you expect here to come in player-wise or tactical?
I don't think tactics need a ton of shifting. Maybe press a little bit higher. Valiente will help with that, just shore things up a little bit. I think Herman Johansson needs to see the field in this game for sure. Like you said, we didn't see enough from the wing backs, and a lot of that wasn't really their fault. They were in the right position sometimes, just not getting the ball. But I think part of that is just the players in the midfield with the ball just aren't trusting those guys like they should because of the chopping and changing and whatnot. I think Herman Johansson can continue making those reads and just demanding the ball. And we know what he does so well outside is get the ball, beat his man on the end line, and then get the cross in and play on the field next that. It'll be more fun of mind to passing the ball in those situations. I hope we do see it
I mean, tactically, it did look to me like they were pressing with three up front. St. Louis just passed right through it. So you've either got to press with more numbers, or you've got to sit back and not try to press. I mean, you can't do what they were doing in the first half.
Christy, do you think Santander would be a good fit for this situation there? I think she's got about 30 minutes in his legs after not playing a lot in the show. He does have a lot of passing acumen. We saw last week. He's not afraid
tough to ask him to go 45 right now, but if they did, it might be for Logan Farrington, and you'd shift instead of one creator behind two strikers, you'd lead Pedro Musa up and put two creators behind him. So that might be a shift we'd see at some point, maybe just not right off the bat. We'll see.
Well, it's going to be a lot of questions as Dallas looks to find answers after a one shot on target, 3 shot take the first half. While St. Louis had a lot of joy, but still has not scored a goal. It's honors even in Frisco so far, 0-0 at the break. We will take that break. When we come back, Nick and Steve get you ready for the second half kickoff at Toyota Stadium. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on FC Dallas.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Minnesota Bar, or just 1 hour in
Dirk, 60 touches. Delgado, 14.
In the world of WinStar.
Dirk, 60 touches. Delgado, 14.
Whatever you want. Fish if we're lucky. The 2026 Toyota Tacoma for every kind of adventure. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trade. See Toyota.com for details.
Scoreless first 45 minutes here at Toyota Stadium between FC Dallas and St. Louis City SC. Disjointed look at the first half, I would say, at least for the first 35 to 40 minutes from FC Dallas. Behind getting some opportunities on there and able to in the half with shots on St. Louis City was able to get shots on target. Nevertheless, Petter Musa had an opportunity late in the half. There was also a corner opportunity from Christian Pappas. Nevertheless, we head into the second half. Still scoreless. Nick Harris alongside Steve. Some changes here obviously need to be made going into the second half. We'll see if anything manifests as far as personnel goes. But as what do you think the message was from Aaron Quill at the break to just try to lead more offensive attack from this point. And that back line, although we did see it clean up more in the final 10 minutes of the half, to be consistent for this second.
I couldn't even begin to guess what the message was. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we know that Eric Quill, he said, you know, he had some pretty strong words for the team at halftime. In this case, I don't know. I mean, the team looks like they look a little broken right now. We know they're not broken, but tonight things just aren't going good. And I wonder if he went in there and said, hey, you know, I might have gotten a couple of things wrong, so put this one on me and go up there, you know, and let's try to shore this up. And I feel like it's maybe or just give him a little pat on the back and tell him it's okay, because we know the team can be better than that. They know they can be better than that. Maybe it was the time to lift him a little bit. No changes.
No changes personnel-wise. One change that has been made here on that Dallas injury. Kaike came in. They're off and rolling St. Louis City. Sending one far side. Headed away by Norris. It's going to stay in play. A cross opportunity for St. Louis City into the box. Led a bit too far. Here on the near side for Rafael Santos. Bartel up to Santos. Santos is trying to find a cross. It was deflected out by Sebastian Ibiaga. It'll be another corner here for St. Louis City. In that first half, they had 6 of them. This will be number 7.
I wouldn't think Eric Quill, although he does like to wait on the subs, but I wouldn't think he'll wait too long if, Dallas can't shake something loose here.
Hartung to take it. Right foot sends it in. Has good height. Colodi was looking to punch it out. I don't think he got a hand on it. It's going to stay with St. Louis City and then cleared out by Petter Musa.
So I can tell you, I think the first candidate that would be changed out is probably Patrickson Delgado. If you look, I mentioned that Edelman and Durkin were controlling midfield. Durkin, 60 touches. I'll let you take it here.
Yeah, throw in into the box. Bit of physicality, Nolan Norris. And I believe that was Kaike that got in there. Was able to clear it back out. Now in the midfield, a little bit of contact. Logan Farrington will get whistled.
Logan Farrington there couldn't keep possession, but in fairness, he had 2 or 3 players around him. The players have got to get up and support, and he's got to find the support. But then again, they've got to be there to support him. So I was saying a minute ago, Chris Durkin, 60 touches in the first half. Playing sort of roughly the same position for Dallas, Patrickson Delgado, he had 14 touches.
That's a midfield discrepancy if there ever was one. Here's Hartung. Free kick. Get into the box, nicely headed out by Nolan Norris. Back into the box and back out by Logan Farrington. St. Louis City barely keeps it in play, just around the inline. Shackleton win possession and then given up by Farrington.
Farrington just hasn't been able to be very clean on the ball tonight.
Flying in to win possession back in Petter Musa was trying to find Farrington out on the run. It's deflected. Now Musa, he's setting up an opportunity here for Dietzen. Dietzen, he gets it in goal. Dietzen finishes 1-0 FC Dallas. Caught Roman Berkey coming out in goal, and Dietzen was able to get it in over his left arm. With a quick counterattack from FC Dallas. That's our first goal on the board tonight.
It's Petter Musa that sets this up. Petter Musa slips in and intercepts the ball. And he does what Dallas hasn't really done tonight, which is make the right choice and do it really quick. After Petter Musa had missed one opportunity to play a through ball, but then he comes in, intercepts the ball, all ninja-like, slides it over to Dietzen on the left side. Berkey does get out on it, get a hand to it, but Dietzen is able to slip it by him in the corner of the goal area, 1-0 FC Dallas.
Beautiful job by Musa. A couple of cutoffs, the second one finds Bader. His first assist on the season. Dietzen's first goal on the year. And FC Dallas starts off this second half with a bang here at Toyota Stadium.
Petter Musa's passing is so good. It's amazing that he hasn't had an assist yet, but you'll take that if he has 7 goals to lead the league, but got his first one there.
St. Louis City trying to one back in the opposition box. By Dietzen. What a few weeks it's been for Dietzen after helping his Haitian national team qualify for the World Cup. Now with a big goal. Here to step in opportunity. Whistle offside by St. Louis City. Go over to FC Dallas. Lodi will send it in. Much more comfortable position now to begin this second half.
Well, that's just one in a row as far as quality attacks for Dallas. See what they can do here.
Shackmore on the near side. He's looking for a cross in. He'll send it keeping it in play just enough to keep it in the box. Kaike crossing in the middle and deflected out of play to be a corner for FC Dallas. What a job by Shaq Moore, although St. Louis City is arguing that it did cross the end line. A lot of upset St. Louis City players, including their captain Roman Berkey in goal.
I think you're kind of right. I mean, that was some kind of effort by Shaq Moore, and look what happens. Now you get to give your team a second corner kick on the night.
Back to Delgado to take it. High all the way through and headed out of play. It'll remain on this side with FC Dallas. Now Dietzen looking for a cross, and he sends it a bit too high and out of play to be a goal kick for Berkey.
I think maybe that goal is sort of inspired a little bit of confidence, giving Dallas back a little bit of the swagger that Eric Will was talking about them having as he thought they had as they came into tonight. It's got to take a little bit out of the air out of the balloon for St. Louis too, because they've really played well tonight. And they've been the better team, and now they find themselves down 1-0. It'll be the 8th corner kick on the night for the visitors. 2 for Dallas. Challenging on the back post, and as that one goes out for a goal kick. I'm wondering now if this changes what Eric Will might do as he looks at the game tactically and personnel-wise, because before I would have thought he would definitely have gone with some attackers, and now I wonder if maybe somebody like Ron Benjamin, or maybe you do go ahead and get Valiente in and try to add some possession. Hanson's still an option.
Maloney's goal kick reflected back and out of play by St. Louis City. We had a throw in for Dietzen. So right on that far side, a little bit of contact and being whistled across the midfield stripe.
Well, I had on my notes that have flown out the window or something that somebody tonight, either St. Louis or Dallas, 2 of the lower possession teams in the league, somebody was definitely going to improve their possession stats tonight, as St. Louis was sitting at around 41%, Dallas at 45%, so somebody's going to have to get above that number. Right now, St. Louis at 59%.
Cross from Kappas, who's hunting down either Logan Farrington or Pedrosa, who's headed out of play by the back line of St. Louis City. Possession remaining on this end with FC Dallas.
Nolan Norris got closed down, couldn't get a pass out of the back. It's going to be a throw in for FCD.
Thrown in by Dietzen. Dietzen working into the attacking third. Musa with a nice touch and back to Farrington. Immediately given up. Kaike back in the midfield.
Just hasn't been Farrington's night with the ball.
Now Shackle with a nice little touch. To Delgado. Delgado with the cross in. There's no one home. It's sitting right back to him. They'll let it go out of play for a corner.
Good little combination work there between Shaq Moore and Delgado. Delgado putting in a good cross. Defensive work by St. Louis, although it does lead to Dallas' 3rd corner kick on the night.
Delgado sending it far. Musa was trying to get ahead on it. It's brought back out to Shaq Moore. Side to Delgado. Delgado down across. We send it back to Kaike. Kappas. Far side. Now another players in the box, headed out, and then cleared out.
Dietzen hit across from the left side. He way overcooked it, but ended up being okay because Patrick Delgado was lurking at the back post to send it back across the middle.
Berkey being chased down by Logan Farrington. Moves it upfield to Durkin. Moves it back to Baumgartner. St. Louis City working into their half. Another 57th minute. Win. Substitutions will be made from either side at this point. Our head coach motioning for them at the moment. Something to be on alert for here in the game's next 10 to 15. St. Louis City trying to direct traffic into midfield. Now pushing it upfield just a bit. There's no one forced to flex it out of play for a win for St. Louis.
It's Petter Moose's 4th consecutive match with a goal contribution. And goals in 3 matches coming into this one. And he's got an assist.
That'll do the trick. Trying to work it upfield. It's cut off by Dietzen. Looks like Dietzen's come out in the second half with a burst of energy, not only with the goal, but maybe it was the goal that gave him the burst of energy, working on that far side.
It's a big boost to your confidence.
Bit of contact, no whistle. Now here's Hartel trying to flick it up from the top of the box. Wide left of the goal. Lodi lets it go out of play for a low kick.
Yeah, it's the one thing you'd say Dallas has done pretty well tonight is, it's not like St. Louis has a lot of firepower up there, really outside of Hartel. They're really looking for some strikers that can be impactful, really forwards in general outside of Hartel. And although they've really owned the midfield and they've been able to gain entry into the final third, boy. Michael Colodi's already getting a yellow card, and it's way early for that, honestly. And I think Philip Duich has maybe been a little quick to warn players about time wasting. I'm not sure Dallas is really trying to waste time out there.
Lodi gets booked. Also trying to keep it in play. St. Louis. Lodi just got through his hands up. He's like, I was about to hit you. And here's Hartel trying to run it down. Shaq Moore cuts it off. To Kaique. Nice little lunch up for Kaique to get it up. Regina. Down the far side to Dietzen. A lot of bodies back for St. Louis. Dallas will readjust. Back to Regina. Kappas. Morse. Morse getting pressed one-on-one, so he'll send it all the way back to Lodi. Getting back into the midfield. And won by St. Louis. Delgado that put just a heavy touch on it around the midfield. Went over to a player wearing gold. Possession going back and forth here. St. Louis City controls it. To Orozco. To the far side, trying to hunt down Simon Belcher. Excuse me. Yeah, that's Belcher. Now working inside. An opportunity right at the top of the box and deflected out by Christian Kappas. It'll be yet another corner for St. Louis City.
Dallas are getting paid tonight by defending corners. They'll be doing great. This will be the 9th. And I said a minute ago, the one thing Dallas has done is not allowed St. Louis to be real dangerous inside the 18.
We're an hour into it. Here's Santos to send it in. A lot of bodies as the ball squirts out to the top of the box. Another cross inside. They got a couple of bodies back for St. Louis City, and they find the back of the net. It was Timo Baumgartel that got his right leg on it. And Colodi couldn't get to it in time as Baumgartel finds the left side of the net. And and St. Louis City draws even.
Boy, the announcer's curse, huh? It just said that Dallas is doing pretty well at defending the box, and they let 2 runners free at the back post that time. And, you know, Collodi it was really not a ball that you're going to expect Collodi to come out and get. As the cross comes in from the left side. There's just 3 runners back there.
Good cross in by Daniel Edelman.
I was trying to see who it was. I think it's Logan Farrington back there that just, he sort of gets crossed up. He turns the wrong way, and by the time he turns outside instead of turning inside to look for the ball, the 2 runners are behind him, and it's just an easy stick away at the back post.
St. Louis City had been pressing most of the night. They finally break through in the 61st minute. We are all tied up at 1. Less than half an hour to go plus stoppage time.
Here come the subs.
Here they come indeed.
It's like Santi Marino, and I believe that's Valiente.
Quickly they come in here. FC Dallas.
It's going to be a triple change. Sherman Johansson's going to come in as well, I believe.
Here's Petter Musa working at the top of the box, working one-on-one. A couple of defenders crashed in. Now here's Shaq Moore trying to come in, and a great job to recover by St. Louis City. Trying to see who the defender was that slid just in front of Shaq Moore before he could get the shot off.
Yeah, because that ball squirted through. Shaq Moore was making a beeline for it.
There's Rafael Santos who came in. It'll be a corner for FC Dallas, but Santos maybe saved one there for St. Louis.
Not sure which 3, but 3 FC Dallas men are about to get their last action, so one more chance to make an impression.
Gano to take the corner. It might just be one of them. Good height. Was ahead on it from Uragide. He was out of play and a goal kick. Roman Berkey in St. Louis.
The sub's not quite ready over there. It's going to be Valiente, Santi Marino, and Herman Johansson.
On that back line, St. Louis, and now toward the midfield area. Unless you're going back and forth. St. Louis City just trying to hold on to it. Bodies in the grass, no whistle. There is a whistle. Go over to St. Louis City. Communication being had between these 3 subs. Still wait. Body is on the grass for St. Louis. Offers a brief break in the action, and he's up to his feet. St. Louis will send it back in. Still wait on the subs. Into the 64th minute, approaching 65. Baumgartl. Score for St. Louis. Works it back to Berkey.
Dallas is pressing with 4 now, but St. Louis just not having any issues with it at all. You know, when we saw Dallas press against San Diego, they were very effective, creating chances off of it. Dallas press hasn't created a chance tonight.
Flex that one out. Around midfield. Looks like these subs already. It's a break in action. See 3 come on for FC Dallas. Potential opportunity on the far side for Ballum. Ballum going to cross inside. Deflected out. Still in play at the top of the box for St. Louis City. Chris Durkin over to Edelman. Out on the far side to Ballum. Back to Orozco. Good job by FC Dallas to get the bodies back. Ballum.
was about
It's an offside
15 yards offside. This was in an offside position is a generous way to put it.
Able to do so with Patterson Delgado, still fighting for it. Too much contact there from Barton. Delgado hits the grass, and this might be the opportunity for these 3 subs to come in. And it will be as Herman Johansson come on for Dietzen. Joaquin Valiente will come on for Patterson Delgado.
Dallas players, as all those subs were coming in, took the opportunity to move that ball up about 15 yards. Finally, Philip Hewitt saw them doing it. Back Valiente up. But every time I looked up, they were moving it. Different players moving it up about 3 yards at a time. So this is going to come at about 35 yards well along the right side. It's going to be Valiente standing over the ball. He'll hit it left foot and we'll swing in.
Subs from St. Louis City. Yet in this one. Valiente to send it in on his first touch. A nice cross inside the box. And it's headed out by St. Louis City. Or excuse me, headed out by FC Dallas. It'll be a goal kick for Burton.
So we'll get a look here at how Dallas is going to shape up. Musa is going to be by himself up front. Herman Johansson's gone to the left side, so he'll play the wing back over there.
Sante Moreno, familiar. He's had a long MLS career with the Portland Timbers. Signed with Fluminense for the offseason. Hasn't gotten a lot of work down in Brazil, and now he's sent back to the MLS. Sent back to MLS on loan. City player hit the grass.
So it's still going to be Kayake and Kappas as a 2-man screen in front of the 5-man back line. And then it'll be Sante Moreno and Valiente playing in behind Petro Musa.
Nice press. Forcing this back line for St. Louis City to be a bit more active as they try to direct traffic. Ball sent into the midfield, is cut off by Eviaga. He's going to run one down. He's pushed from behind.
Something to watch for here is that Valiente is a really good pressing attacker, so kind of saw it in action right there. His timing is good, his angled runs are good. So Dallas maybe can be a little more effective in the press now.
70th minute. And Dallas find the breakthrough and get out of here with 3 points.
Yeah, they need it. First of 3 at home, and Chris Kappas not clean on the ball there, just plays it out of bounds.
A little bit of miscommunication with Moreno. Might see that in the first few games. The Columbia National. When the Columbia National is on the pitch, rather, as everyone gets used to his pace and action on the pitch. It'll be really fun to see when he's getting starting action as he deflects a pass out of play.
Yeah, it's not going to be a possession game by Dallas, but they are being disruptive now with that higher press. Just a couple of personnel changes. Look what happens.
Fresh bodies able to thwart some starts to possessions for St. Louis City.
A little change of shape too.
Trying to find a runner. Saze Regide down to Sebastian Eviaga. And back to Peloti.
Dallas gains possession in the middle. Look, the change in personnel and that slight realignment of how they're playing up front is making all the difference right now.
73rd minute. Still tied here at 1-1. City is getting ready for their first substitution of the night. There's Santos inside, into the box now. Santos looking for a cross with his left foot. This has been dangerous tonight. He sends that one well far and out of play.
Seen a lot of that on both sides, just overcooking the crosses.
This will be the first substitution now for St. Louis City.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold the sub just a second because they've got a player down on the backside, so they might have to either make two subs or just change what they were going to do.
Good call there, Steve. That's why we have two sets of eyes. Toy shirt.
Well, it was late. I mean, they were literally about to put the sign up. I mean, once you put that up, I mean, it's going to happen. So the coaches sort of had to rush over there and tell them to whoa, Nelly.
Toyshirt has played in 5 of the 6 matches for St. Louis City this season. He's come on as a reserve in 3 of them. Played in 148 minutes. His 3rd season with the team, the German national. So we're trying to see who player in the midfield area to be tended to for St. Louis City.
He was down in the first half for a while as well.
See if they make a change to their back line. Sub out Roscoe as well. Toyshirt is coming on to the pitch. First 2 substitutions of the night for St. Louis. Here in the 77th minute. Back in action. Midfield area put out the play there.
Sale con la camiseta número 16, Sergio Córdoba, y entra con la número 36, Cedric Toyshirt.
Time they've just about worked that combination, moves it to Moreno. I sort of feel like they've got one of those that's going to work here pretty soon.
Big pitch Moreno with some work out in front.
this, Nick. They've again, the Dallas press they've changed it just enough and changed the personnel, and St. Louis just as easy as they were getting out of it a while ago, they're having so much difficulty right now getting out of the back.
Kappas sends it out of play. There was an opportunity there. Didn't have Valiente running the far side. He would have gotten it anyway. Throw in St. Louis. Biaga able to run it back. Norris. It's the middle to Moreno. Moreno inside to Musa. Heavy touch gets it back to St. Louis City.
Almost again, I'm telling you, those two have a connection right now.
I'm excited for when that connection does follow through. Down here, St. Louis City potentially. Simon Betcher. Betcher into the box, working one-on-one. Uragide escorts him out of play, and it's a goal kick for Michael Peloti.
Betcher actually had Uragide. It looked like he had him beat a little bit around the corner there on the left side, and Uragide just used those long legs, got the body position, and then just used the muscle to keep Betcher away from the ball as he rolled out for the goal kick.
79th minute. Sends it deep. Morrison gets the head back from St. Louis City. Trying to find Pedersen. Johansson. Touch to Payne. Shaq forward. Down the middle for Joaquin Valiente. Valiente's going to take a strike about 35 yards away. He goes wide right.
He hit it well, and it didn't miss by much, but I feel like he had a lane in the boost on the left side.
Nice press back upfield for FC Dallas. St. Louis having to make some quicker decisions here.
Yeah, but one more
Back
time,
line,
they
almost cut
can't
it
get
off.
out of the back.
FC Dallas able to win possession back. Valiente, Biaga, Shaq Moore. Back to the middle to Kappas. Near side to Moore, and then to the side. Out of the turn. It's close. Side ref was right there, so he had a better look than any of us.
And actually, Kappas made a really good quick decision to play Moore in, but I think Moore wasn't quite expecting that, and just didn't. Just maybe a step offside there. Looks like Ron Benjamin's about to come in for Dallas.
Brady has played in 5 games so far, all of them as a reserve.
We mentioned Dallas had the good bench tonight, and that triple change just made all the difference.
Here's Kappas with a run out in front. Russo. Russo, a heavy touch gives it away. We've seen a few times in the past 10 to 15 minutes. FC Dallas able to keep possession though.
Benjamin was making a good run on the left side.
Back heel for Payne. Now cut off once again. Jeff Moore was out in front. It may have been offside if he had gotten it, but it was cut off by St. Louis.
Clever little ball played into by Valiente. You're right. I think Shaq Moore would have been offside, but nice little chipped ball.
Some nice work from Valiente. Since coming on. FC Dallas. Possession in the midfield. Valiente. Gaike. Musa. Down to the near side to Shaq Moore. Looking for a cross. He's going to send one in. He's got a few guys in the area, and it's headed out just outside the 6-yard box from
think, I know you said they did a good job of getting back. I think about half the team did a good job of getting back, and the other half needs to pick it up a little bit. Because you've got to look, you've got to recognize that moment, and everybody's got to get back.
Benjamin will come on. Christian Kappas.
Kappas wasn't quite as clean on the ball as we know it can be.
Back and play right at the top of the box for St. Louis City. Whistle, it'll go over to FC now. Just had a handball if he was. They were trying to get back and play quick, but Philip Buich goes back to the free kick area. There's 5 subs for FC Dallas now. Benjamin, Valiente, Johansson, Moreno, and Kaique. Albert Kaique coming on here in the second half.
I think it's so interesting because suddenly Edelman and Durkin, who were just running the game, they're just invisible now.
Upfield press, Pedrosa trying to cut it off, and Moreno was almost able to do so. Opportunity for FC Dallas. St. Louis able to hold possession, still trying to get it out. FC Dallas attacking third, able to do so, working it over to Santos. Santos working it into the box after a challenge from Shaq Moore. And able to clean it up was Asaze Uragide. And Santos puts it out of play. Good job by Uragide.
Great job by Uragide covering there. One of the things he does best. He can get out of his position in the middle, out to the wing, and clean up messes with the best of them.
Yaga sends it deep, looking for Musa. St. Louis able to hold possession. To the middle. One back by Johansson. Maloney sends it deep. Just has Valiente over there. Back to Nolan Norris here. Back line. Sends it on the far side. I believe Johansson. Moreno. To the midfield to Benjamin. Benjamin with his first real go at it here. He was cut off, but Musa was able to hold possession. Now Musa sends it upfield to Shaq Moore. Shaq Moore on the right side of the box. Looking for a cross in. He had a couple of guys in the area, and Petter Musa hit the grass after a challenge from St. Louis City. No whistle, certainly could have been a penalty opportunity. And the home crowd letting head official Philip Buich hear it. Eric Quill upset as well. What say you, Steve Davis?
I say they'll look at it. It's close. The issue's going to be that Buich didn't make the call, so there's going to have to be compelling evidence that he made a mistake, a clear and obvious error.
Play continues on for now. Here the near side for Santos into the 86th minute. That would be a huge penalty opportunity.
It's kind of a funny looking play because it almost looked like Petter Musa had overrun it and then he got taken down.
Here's Hartl taking a shot. Good job by Collodi to corral it. It had eyes for that back of the net on the right side, but Collodi saw it the whole way. Collodi with a deep throw into Musa.
Usually if they were going to send Philip Buich over the monitor, they would have done it by now.
Johansson across the midfield stripe down to Kaique. Santo Marino. Touch with Valiente. Back to Marino and then back to Viaga. Shaq Moore. There's a couple of dangerous crosses here tonight. Just had another one. Now out in front is Valiente. He was onside. Looking for a touch into the box. Here's Musa in the box. And Musa with a nice cross to Kaique. And it was sent right at the opposing goalkeeper in Roman Berkey. Musa had an opportunity. It was deflected out of play to get corner for FC Dallas. And you can feel FC Dallas closing in. Can they find the winning goal in the final moments?
All that started on a great little move, little move to the inside by Santi Marino.
Crowd coming alive here at Toyota Stadium. Joaquin Valiente to stick it in. This left foot on the near side. Headed right back out. Still in the box here for FC Dallas. Trying to find a cross in, headed out of play. That was Baumgartel that got the head on it. And St. Louis City able to clear it all the way out.
On the backside, Benjamin chipped in another cross that was cleared by St. Louis.
Potentially looking for the counterattack. Sent it way too far to Lodi. Sends it high up into the air. Too much contact in the middle of the field there to go with FC Dallas. A couple of substitutions now coming on for St. Louis City.
Lodi doing a good job there. Ball got caught up in the wind a little bit, so he has to take a step and a half outside his penalty area on a ball that's coming down. With a little bit of curl on it, and he does a good job of just putting his right foot to it.
Entering the match is number 14, Los Angeles. And number 28, Miguel Perez.
Number 20 men in the midfield for St. Louis City. It's Tomas Tolan. Come on. Rafael Santos. Miguel Perez will come on for Daniel Edelman.
I think this is St. Louis sort of shutting it down a little bit.
Now an opportunity potentially on the right wing. Here's Shaq Moore. He's had a couple of dangerous crosses, looking for another one. Easily headed out. Still in play for FC Dallas. Valiente up to Benjamin. Now Moreno working at the top of the box. Working near side to Shaq Moore. Into the 89th minute. Benjamin. Moore will cross it in with his left. He's got a couple of teammates down in the area. Into the 6-yard box, headed out. Johansson gets a bit too much contact on that tackle. Try. And it'll be a free kick over to St. Louis City.
I feel like Valiente and Santi Marino certainly have made their way into the game. I'm not sure Herman Johansson has just yet, but he's sort of playing on his non-preferred left side. Shaq Moore continues to occupy the right side. I think Johansson might be the better crosser. Shaq does, he hits a pretty good cross as well, but I almost wonder if Dallas could switch them again. But Johansson deliver those balls from the right side.
Approaching the 90th minute. Fourth official getting ready to show how much time we have left in this one. For FC Dallas, you wish you had about 10 more minutes. The attack has looked as great as it has all night. 6 minutes of extra time. And FC Dallas find the winner. They come away with 3 points. It would be said for St. Louis City. Just last week they were able to find a goal in the 6th minute of stoppage time to draw even with NYC.
And when they did that, they were really pressing NYC, just like Dallas is pressing tonight, so it certainly happened.
Throw in just on the edge of the attacking third for Kaique and FC Dallas. Into Musa. Musa, nice little touch over to Moreno, trying to find Kaique if he can run it down. Good job by Lucas McNaught to clear it out. A lot of contact in the middle of the field, no whistle. Possession will remain St. Louis City. Now working to their back line. It's been a physical game in the midfield tonight. The ice bath will feel good for a lot of these guys. Benjamin, challenge. He's gonna win the challenge. Out of play. FC Dallas can throw in.
You can tell that was one of those where Philip Deutsch didn't really know. He was trying to let the players sort of decide.
Valiente, a long ball over to Johansson. Johansson trying to get it up over Berkey, and Berkey comes out to clear it himself.
That's a big man against a big man right there.
6-2 on 6-2.
The ball just bounced up a little bit, and Johansson didn't want to get in and clobber Berkey. Berkey just got the angle on it, 2 steps outside the penalty area.
stoppage time. Playing 6 extra minutes here. FC Dallas has been closing in over the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. Best their attack has looked all night. St. Louis City able to hold possession here at their back line.
Odd, Petar Musa was walking the ball up at midfield, and I feel like he should have let one of the midfielders walk back there and take the ball and let him get back up front. Just nobody was moving. Nobody could figure out what Musa wanted to do.
Without a play by St. Louis City. Throw in.
Musa's still not in his position. He needs to. Yeah, now he's finally moving back up front. Dallas might be able to carve out one final chance. Not going to be much more than that. It's about 90 seconds unless we'll do a chance just a little bit more for that last sub.
Here's a run out front. No one behind. It's Colodi coming in to crash and close the gap. What a great job by Colodi. It's way out in front. Cedric Teuscher had gotten behind the FC Dallas defense.
Dallas had too many players pushed up, and Teuscher had that ball running at Ibiaga. He just ran right by him. Michael Colodi making a big save there.
Ibiaga may have gotten caught with his heels in the grass. Teuscher, fresh onto the pitch about 15 minutes ago, was trying to take advantage. Colodi's experience really did come into play there.
Yeah, Ibiaga's done well this year, but defending out an open space like that, it's tough for any defender.
Corner here for St. Louis, headed into the box and cleared out. Possession remains with St. Louis. Roughly 30 seconds before we are to the 6th minute, through the 6th minute rather, of stoppage time. Final whistle from Philip Duich. St. Louis comes into Toyota Stadium and will walk away with a point. Here FC Dallas, a bit of a slog in the first half. Probably is a credit to this being only a 1-point effort for the home team. Nevertheless,
yeah, you know, Dallas got it together. It was pretty good over the last 20 minutes. Unfortunately, it just was not their night for about 70 minutes, and that's why they might be a little fortunate just to walk away from this one with 1 point.
It wasn't a complete effort from your home crowd or your home team here at Toyota Stadium here tonight. We'll recap everything. Don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game show coming up right after this. It's a 1-1 draw here at Toyota Stadium between FC Dallas.
At Toyota, we build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Tundra is built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make new ones. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, built everywhere. Test drive your local Toyota dealer and visit Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
UT South where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine starts here.
Fresh off a global summer of soccer at the 2026 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Try in Charlotte on July 29th as MLS takes on Liga MX. Tickets are on sale now at MLSsoccer.com/all-star.
After 90 plus minutes at Toyota